Hey, hey, girl, boy, child, people. Listen, I am enjoying this free app Anchor. I really am. Let's just have a really quick topic of discussion because I took a break from doing something alternate because it was on my mind, just how fake people are. And I don't understand it. There's more fake individuals out here putting on an act, putting on a show, and that's not their real character whatsoever. And I'm just trying to figure out why. What's the purpose? Why are you doing that?
Why are you doing
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
You're being fake. Yes, and deliberately doing so. And some people are that way.
Listen to that music in the background.
And their intent is to cause you harm. So you have to be careful. And I will tell you, in nursing, that's real. Not every nurse is compassionate and empathetic and caring and wants the best for you and is advocating for you and is the sweetie pie, always willing to serve. No. And I didn't really find that to be true until getting out in the actual field. During school, teachers, they will tell you, they'll educate you. Listen, nurses eat their young. I'm telling you guys. I mean, I had those types of teachers, and they would say, you need to be prepared.
Those were great.
Never, ever sacrifice your license.
Never.
Ever. For anyone, for anything, for any reason. Not for a physician, not for an alternate nurse, not for a patient. It's just the same all the time. You do the right thing for the right reasons all the time. And especially with that nursing license that you dedicated all this time, man, blood, sweat, and tears into getting this. And it's not easy. The program, it's just not easy. I don't care if you did a associate's degree program or you did like a bachelor's degree program like I did. It doesn't matter. This stuff is not easy. Even the LPN program is not easy. Okay? Yeah. So, and you don't put that on the line for anyone. Well, I did not really recognize, what those teachers were saying. And, I kind of just didn't really pay much attention to what the education they were trying to provide and the awareness, just so you go into the field equipped with a little bit of tool, just keep that one eye raised, be on alert because it's coming, and it is coming. The role that I stepped into with my initial nursing job was in the prison setting. So I think that may have made it a little bit more I don't know, evident on how some nurses, they're nasty and they're mean and they're evil. And I never would have thought it. I never would until I experienced it. My goodness, never thought people were like this. Ran into some very, very good nurses though. Some nurses at the prison who was on the same wavelength, trying to be fair, non-biased, just there to do our role, provide individuals, the population that we were serving with what they were actually entitled to, trying to follow the rules and the policies, protocols, regulations, all those types of things, man. But those individuals were few and far between. The majority of the nurses in this particular facility that I was working in anyhow were more on the negative end, the corrupt end, the wrongdoer end, which is unfortunate, but it's the truth. You had nurses in there addicted themselves to certain substances, participating in what could be actually considered as illegal acts in that particular institution as well. Yeah, some of the nurses addicted to drugs, taking patients' medications and things like that. Plotting, strategizing, against another nurse to somehow disrupt their livelihood, yeah, we'll get together and do that, honey. We'll get together and do that, honey. Constantly writing up, and what are those things called, incident reports on another nurse, instead of first just trying to communicate with that individual, find out, what may have taken place, see if you can't resolve it before you have to go and tattletale on them. That could get them involved in some type of disciplinary process that could ultimately affect their livelihood. Over a lot of times, the incident reports that these nurses were writing against each other were foolishness. They were just written primarily to deliberately bring stress and hurt and harm to another individual. And it's very sad, very, very sad. But at that particular prison, I tell you, they will throw you in the fuel, honey. They'll throw you in the fire. Sure will. You'll present on the job and they make it look as if there's on the job training. They give you a little packet too. They give you a little packet too. You think, oh, great, they're really going to train me and I'm going to have opportunity to learn. First of all, I'm going for all them evil, nasty nurses, the ones that they don't want to train you. They don't want to precept you. They don't want to be bothered with you in your training. They don't. They're going to call off. They're going to call off deliberately. It has happened multiple times. And they will do that to individuals, even if they don't particularly care for them when they first present as a new nurse, or they just don't want to be in that role of being, overwhelmed with having to train someone or whatnot. Oh yeah, you'll be thrown into the fuel and be there stuck all alone. So if you're a new nurse or you're currently in school and you are anticipating or contemplating perhaps, joining the correctional nursing team, be very cautious, be very prepared. Gain as much information as you possibly can. Write down whatever you are actually being taught. Ask a lot of questions. Be sure you always are aware of what emergency approaches you need to take, especially when it relates to your patient population and the various conditions that you may come in contact with that equate to an emergency. You better know how to handle that. You better know how to access and assess all of any and everything that you need to do to ensure nothing ever comes back on you in any form or fashion that could jeopardize your license. I'll tell you one quick story because it happened to me. And see, I'm different. I'm a different type of a nurse. I'm a different type of a individual. I don't deliberately set out to hurt anyone, and I don't do those same things that I see those young nurses, some older nurses doing, and it really, really took me for a whirlwind. And as I said before, I am an advocate, and I did advocate for employees at this particular prison in Columbus, Ohio. Well, let's just say Ohio. It's in the outskirts, like the country part. And I filed a multitude of grievances to provide external agencies and internal, authoritative bodies with information and insight into some of the wrongdoings that were going on, and to where individuals could be pulled and held accountable for some of what they were doing. And like I said before, there were plenty of actions that a lot of these nurses, they really should have been pulled and placed into perhaps an employee assistance program or terminated. Yeah. So all that is documented in the several grievances and so forth, because as an employee advocate, as an inmate advocate, as a just whoever, I don't care who you are, I will advocate on your behalf if you are suffering or being victimized or targeted, abused, threatened, intimidated, harassed, whatever. I'm going to advocate for you. If you are subjected to folks wrongdoing, and if you try to voice or bring it to somebody's light, to someone's attention of what's going on, and you are attacked or retaliated against, that's not right. And it does happen. It does happen When you watch these silly videos at jobs and it's all about ethics and all this and what a job is supposed to be doing. And it's okay. Please go ahead and tell the HR department, go ahead and tell your media supervisor. You better not. They're not going to do anything about it, honey. They're not going to do anything about it. They're going to flip the switch on you. They're going to turn the table on you, and you're going to become the enemy, especially if it is actually a corrupt type of entity and all those parties are participating in the wrongdoing. They're going to turn it on you, and they're going to try to get rid of you. That's going to be the goal. Yeah, if you go against the grain of the wrongdoing and the corruption, they're going to get rid of you, or they're going to make the working environment so hostile that you'll want to leave on your own. Yes, it's happened several times at plenty of entities that I have worked. And there are a lot of snakes in the grass and a lot of these jobs and things like that out there. So just be cautious. So anyway, I was going to tell a little story about a nurse that came there, sweet little girl. And yeah, at this time she was straight out of school. She had no clue, but I'm not that type of a preceptor to where I'm going to throw her in the fuel. And so I try to just, walk her through her actual on-the-job training packet as it was set up, but then at the same time, equip her with more of the tools that she would need in the event that she was ever left there alone, where the rest of the staff may have called off and they couldn't find another nurse or something like that that could come in and assist her. She would be able to still maintain and hold down the fort without having to fear at the end of the day she may lose her license. So that was the approach I was trying to take. It's very difficult to do in a short period of time because they will throw you in the fire fairly quickly at when you first get there. They will. And a lot of times it's deliberate, sometimes not, but most of the time it is. And this little girl, I don't know, I have a certain type of approach when I'm teaching also because I do not take nursing lightly. It's very serious when you're dealing with patients and their lives and their health conditions and things like that. That's not a joking matter. I laugh and I joke fairly often, but not when it comes to that. Not in a prison setting. No, you can get killed. So the little girl, someone had called. It was emergency. They call it chest pain. Sometimes these individuals or population within prison, they know if you call chest pain, they're coming to pick you up. They're coming to get you because they have to. And the objective of a lot of the population, not all, but most, sometimes they do manipulate and whatnot. Not always, but most of the time. They know, hey, I got the potential to ride out, go to OSU, get outside the normal, confines of this bounded institution and go somewhere else, go up to OSU and look at the pretty nurses and everything. So that's their objective. That's what they want to do. So they always call chest pain or whatever. This guy, he comes on up, little girl, I'm the type of person when we're training, I don't demand anybody to do anything. Like, well, you need to get over there and do that EKG, or well, you need to go ahead and do this and give me that and give me that and just bossing people around and stuff like that. I didn't like it when I was going through school. I don't like it, period, to be bossed around. So I don't think that's necessary. So I say things more like, would you like to, you think you want to do the EKG? I mean, if you don't want to do it, I could do it. Do you remember how to do that from when you were in school? You remember how to place the leads and things like that. That's how because sometimes you don't remember. You're a brand new student, things like that. You don't know everything. You'll never know it all, ever. I don't care if you got over 11 years of nursing experience, okay? You're not going to know it all. Anyhow, she said, yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I know how we did this all the time in school, everything. I said, okay. So she's over there messing around. She's trying to get him together and put the leads and everything on. I'm over on the other side trying to document what was going on in terms of, there's always a photo in the particular moment that we took him in, the end time and, just some basic information, writing down his name. Everything was narrative back then. It wasn't the it wasn't the electronic medical record. You were still writing down individuals' names and their inmate number, writing the time, in at 1500 or whatever. In the prison, at least you were. she over there. I just happened to turn and see like it's taking her a while. I'm like, okay, you get the EKG yet? You know, I'm waiting for the printout because we need that fairly quickly so I can read it and go back there. I need to go ahead and call the doctor. You know, she over there fiddling around with that thing. And honey, she didn't even show him his chest. And because she's just keep these forms stick. I'm thinking, what nurse did she go to? That's kind of like nursing 101, you know. But anyhow, I said, oh, I said, what? You want to shave it? Yeah, shave him. I said, come over here. You gotta come over here. Come over here. We'll get these razors and stuff out and whatnot. And yeah, she said, I can't remember exactly how it went down and the exact verbiage used, but what it boiled down to was she was upset. Oh, she said, I said, honey, I said, you didn't know you need to shave that hair off his chest or something like that. Or you want to shave that hair off his chest, or the leads aren't going to stick. She said something like, well, I wasn't aware of that or something. And I said, well, you better get to know it. Or I didn't know, or know this or know that or something. And I'm thinking, I said, girl, well, you better get to know him, you know, just like that, because that's the truth. She better get to know him. You don't have time to waste, especially in a true cardiac instance. You don't have the time to waste. Over there fooling around, not know what you're doing. Oh, this lead is getting stuck in the hairs on his chest. Oh, I don't know what to do. I didn't know I was supposed to shave his chest. Girl, that man get die on you. That's your license. You over there not know what to do, fiddling around with the damn leads. You don't know how to shave. You didn't know how to shave his chest, girl. Bye. Get your stuff together. Get your shit together. So in the response, in the way that I responded to her, is very matter of fact. I do talk like that. I really don't mean any harm by it, but when I'm trying to teach or something like that, or just show some, or it just is what it is. It just is what it is. And sometimes you just don't need to sugarcoat shit, like I said. Just get straight to the point. You don't need all the extra bull. Listen, you better get over it. You better know that your chest needs to be shaved. You need to know where to locate these. You need to know what key to use. You need to know, and you need to know how to move fairly rapidly. Okay, because guess what? At the end of it, you should have been had that EKG done. You should have been through 2 liters of oxygen on that man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He should have been had them little Tylenol or whatever to chew, honey, or the 81 aspirin, whatever the protocol is in the facility that I can't remember. Theirs was I think it was aspirin that you had to give if you've already given the max, like the 3 nitros. Yeah, honey, she didn't even get to none of that. We end up getting to all that with that particular patient. But the number one thing when they report to Med Bay and you have to take them back into the treatment room to the assessment, you have to hurry and get that EKG. You have to do that right away. And then you go and you call the doctor because he's going to want to know if he's not already on site. But in this particular instance, he wasn't there. He was at home, but on call. So we handled all of that, whatever the processes were for handling that, dude. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that little girl. Hopefully they get that out of the oven. That little girl, she was bothered by my approach, you know, to trying to save her, to trying to help her gain a little bit of knowledge so that perhaps in the future she's able to handle a similar situation a little bit better. Instead of being one of these alternate nurses that actually did work there, that would eat their young, they would have just let that girl drown. They would let her drown. Wouldn't have taught her nothing. Wouldn't have showed her anything. Threw her in the fuel and just let her burn as a brand new nurse too. Yeah, but anyway, she was a little bit disturbed by that. And she came, she told me, I didn't think no more about it, honestly. I really didn't. And we went back to the nursing station. I'm back to my goofy silly self. We laughing and giggling. She wasn't really laughing, giggling, nothing. And I'm like, hey, what's wrong with you? She's like, you hurt my feelings. She was really disturbed. You know? And I'm asking, oh, I'm sorry. What happened? You know, what did I do? You know, you snapped at me. when you said you better get to know, and I know about the razors and shaving that man's chest and stuff like that. And I just told her, hey, listen, it's true. I'm telling you the truth. You do need to know. And there's some key things that you better start putting under your cap fairly rapidly here because they're gonna throw you in the field. They're getting ready to do it. Trust me. They done it to me, and they've done it to several other nurses. So I'm just trying to protect you and just help you along the way for when that one day comes, you be better prepared to handle certain situations. Because I've been there several times when I had to man several units at this particular facility, and there was no help. The only nurse in there with maybe the LPN that had no time to come out and really help you do anything. I mean, the LPN can't do assessments, and they had their own work. They had to man that pill call window or do the treatments and stuff like that. They didn't have time. Sometimes it got really, really rough, but it was a great learning experience for me, and I know how to kind of critically think through things. And I'm just a different type of person. But this little girl was somewhat of a little airhead, and I felt sorry for her because she was getting ready to really catch their wrath. This group of nurses that worked at this place were something else. I'm uncertain of whether or not they all work there now. Wow. And one of the nurses, she had told me one time when she first started there, someone actually took some pills. They stole some pills and they put them in like an envelope or something like that, one of the other nurses, and put them in that girl's locker. They put them in her locker. And then they wrote up a fake incident report and they lied. And they said that that girl had stolen those pills when they deliberately put them in that girl's locker. So, and they tried to set her up to get her fired. That's what she told me. Mhm. Mhm. That's the type of shit that go down in there. It's some real backbiting and real backstabbing, and it be among the nurses, the nice, sweet little ones. Mhm. So, you know, I just thought I'd tell you a little bit about that, because that's usually what comes to mind. I have some personal experiences with a lot of fake people and things like that, and individuals that will deliberately try to get close to you and reel you in to trust them just so they can ultimately attack you, like a snake, the sneaky little snake, act like they love, just a slithering right along, real hey honey, hey baby, give me the hugs, acting like anything I could do for you. You okay? Oh, I know, acting like they really cannot stand you. They hate you. And when you tell them, yeah, I'm doing good, girl, you know what? I just got the biggest blessing in my life. You know, I scratched off $1,500, girl. Yeah, they're like, what? Shut up, girl. Oh, right, no, that's right. In the back of their mind, this bitch, $1,500. I can't stand her. I hope she go out there fucking get robbed. I was somebody snatch her fucking her. I hope somebody breaking her shit. That's really what they say. There's some demons out there. And they be the very ones that you think are the most sweetest little thing. They're supposed to be the sweet pie. Ooh. No, no. And everybody believes that all nurses are the greatest. All nurses love and care and want to serve. It is not the truth. And that saddens me. It really does. And I get stressed out behind it because I know that there's the nasty ones out here. Mhm. But if I ever find out, you will get exposed. I will not tell your name, just like on this particular platform. I will continue to tell stories about experiences that I have had and involving a lot of evil nurses and just people in general. But I will never tell their names and that type of deal. Mhm, mhm. But I will bring an awareness. Yes. And so basically, at that particular entity that I worked at, there are a lot of grievances that still exist. And they're actually public record. I would imagine it would be if someone were to request them. Yeah. I'm an advocate, an employee advocate, just a people advocate. advocate against wrongdoing and exposure of corruption and so forth. So anybody interested, you can go get those grievances. Oh yeah, yeah. State of Ohio prison. Yeah, so you can look that up, do your research, and yeah, yeah. You should probably, you know, um, request like employee grievances, but also inmate population grievances as well, and see what types of courses of action and things like that really and genuinely take place. Sometimes places like that need eyes on them because a lot of times when what's going on outside, but it don't sound good. It really doesn't sound good. A lot of sirens, a lot of police cars and so forth. So I hope everything's all right. Um, yeah. So that little girl, she was a sweetie pie. She seemed like a little airhead initially when she first came over. She always had a willingness to learn. She really seemed to be that way at onset. But later on down the line, she turned out to be a quite so not so nice nurse herself. Because what I find with a lot of those nurses in that place, that's why I would tell any new nurse, if you want to get the experience working in a prison or something like that, you will get a lot of experience contrary to what people believe because you don't know what to expect. You don't know what to expect. You're going to have there's something called nurse sick call, something called doctor sick call. There's chronic care. There's an infirmary. There's a place where we called treatments, and then that's where you would address the infectious disease types issues. You know, folks could come up for like the foot soles, dressing changes, and that type of thing. Okay. Um, you're going to deal with that. So the nurse's sick call is where you as a nurse, you're doing the triage, you're trying to figure out what's going on with the patient, and you're able to treat that patient within scope of practice, within your scope of practice. So you can give like over-the-counter medications and so forth. Basically what you can really do out here in your regular life. You can give a Tylenol, you can give a ibuprofen, you can, give someone a pair of crutches. You can wrap their leg. If they get hurt, you can give them some Bengay for a sore muscle. You can give them some natural tears for the eyes. You can give them some nasal saline. You can give them some neosporin, little creams and stuff like that. You do your assessment sheet, figure out what's going on, and then you try to assess, and then you give your what's called your nursing diagnosis. Okay, so that's the nurse sick call part. That's kind of like the ambulatory. Um, Triage part of everything. If you as a nurse are not able to um, remedy what's going on with an individual, okay, you can immediately set them up with Dr. Sick call, or you can tell the person just like they do at the urgent care or something like that. Okay, listen, we're gonna give you XYZ, this analgesic, this little body rub, whatever, ice pack, hot pack, and you go on. And if you haven't gotten any better within the next 3 to 5 days, put in another kite or whatnot. We'll make sure we set you an appointment for the doctor's sick call. And that's just like I said, you would go to your primary care doctor's appointment. Then you have your individuals that do have several chronic health conditions. So they need to be seen in the chronic health condition clinic pretty much for like management, overall management of that particular clinic. And that's not all the time. But there we go. But I don't know. Maybe once a month if you have a chronic care condition appointment. I can't remember. I can't even remember if it was condition specific. But at minimum, it had to be once a month. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure of it. Then the infirmary, that was for like your emergency words. And where within the particular prison that I worked in, if an individual was put in the infirmary, that when they were put back there, we had the equipment available to where we were able to take care of whatever the needs were. But we had the nursing staff that had the skill set that was able to handle whatever was going on in the infirmary. If it turned out that we didn't have the equipment or the staff that had the knowledge, then you make a determination. Okay, we're going to ride this person out to FMC, the prison hospital, or we're going to, or is it just a little bit more than that where we need to consider taking them on to OSU? Most of our emergencies that had to be rolled out was to OSU. But so it's a multitude of different things that you can learn in the prison. And there's also mental health behavioral unit as well called RTU that's on the alternate side. So you can get a real, a holistic feel for nursing in a sense. And because, yeah, and trauma, you don't ever know. You don't know. Somebody making their throat slit. You don't know. Pencil in their neck. You know what I'm saying? I mean, cut their scrotum all the way open, open up their wound that was recently approximated and take some dookie and put in it. Okay. So you got a lot you can learn there, honey. Sure can. Mhm. Yeah, be called bitch, fuck you. Mhm. You could be attacked. Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot to learn. Get a lot of experience. But yeah, your medication passes and all this type of stuff, and just learning the whole prison system and how the security aspects of things work. You get some good skill set too, as in terms of self defense and just some insight relative to how manipulative people really can be. And guess what? Guess who's more manipulative sometimes than even the inmates? Guess who? Guess who? The employees. And guess who else? The supervisors, the administration. Yeah, them even more so. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I got so many great stories. I will be coming on this podcast to give a little bit of insight on some wonderful, wonderful storytelling of events. It's going to be so exciting. Stay tuned. Yeah, anyone that hears this that knows that they're corrupt, they'll be shaking in their boots probably. But don't fret, don't worry. I won't say your name. That I will not do. But I can tell instances and I can tell stories revolving around certain things